Here is a recap of Plathville's Season 7 Episode 10, Brothers Fighting and Plath's Assigning Blame. Now is the time for another episode of Welcome to Plathville, so get your dance shoes and boxing gloves ready. Ethan has decided to move the table settings so that Micah's girlfriend Veronica is as far away from him as possible. The episode begins at Lydia and Zach's wedding reception, where the newlyweds are enjoying Arnold Palmer's without alcohol. Ethan tells the audience that Veronica is not welcome at his Lydia's reception because he hates her with the fury of 1,000 suns after he literally flung Veronica's seashell place card into the air. Micah, a fully grown adult, requests Veronica for permission to go the event alone because he knows that his fiancée is Plath enemy number 1 right now. Veronica agrees, since she is too busy drinking beer and acting rudely. Veronica mocks the fact that none of Lydia's brothers carried out their grand scheme to object to the couple's union after Micah leaves, calling the group of blonde brothers all talk. Isaac, who will soon demonstrate that he is not all talk, with his hilarious fists, oh fury, tells viewers that he shares Ethan's intense annoyance at Veronica for causing trouble on Lydia's special day. Ethan subsequently avoids the newlyweds at the reception to inform Mariah that she must swear loyalty to the Plath family and avoid falling for Veronica, whom he says is merely recruiting allies, and that she is no longer permitted to rekindle her bond with Veronica. He does this as poor Lydia is sitting at the bridal party table with Mariah, feigning that her brothers aren't the jerks they are and attempting to have the wedding she's been praying for decades. Barry, who filibusters the hell out of his father of the bride speech, complete with Bible references, blessings, and best wishes for Lydia and Zach, is one of the less intimidating Plath family members who take turns speaking on the microphone as the celebration goes on. Who could have predicted that Barry would be the voice of reason and behave the most like a normal freaking person after all these seasons in Plathville? Lydia is amazed at how wonderful her wedding day with Zach has been so far, but she also observes that Micah and Veronica should be seated at her reception instead of missing out on the fun. Despite this, Lydia and Zach continue by cutting their wedding cake in an embarrassing way. Alright, let's keep all sharp items out of the Plath brothers' reach. The newlyweds then perform a very uncomfortable first dance. At the reception, Lydia and Barry dance as father and daughter, and Barry, who has granted himself a license to cry, does just that. Following the drying of his tears, Barry and the other wedding guests join Lydia and Zach on the grassy dance floor to spin, and swing about in what we'll call the hoedown before the showdown. Isaac and his girlfriend Kaylin are stopped by a guest who informs them how much the Plath girls admire Kaylin as some of the wedding guests enter the room, probably to thaw out or down the small bottles of wine they brought into the dry reception. The scene then shifts to a couch nearby, where Micah and Veronica, who is constantly irritated, are hiding out and listening in on this conversation. Wedding guests start to assemble for the couple's farewell after Ethan successfully hot wires the car that Lydia and Zach intend to drive off into the sunset darkness. Veronica remains sitting on the couch and gives Micah a weak wave as a goodbye when he tries to persuade her to go outside with them. Even though Veronica eventually manages to pull herself away from the furniture, she tells the audience that she is only getting up to return to her hotel, which is 3 towns over, so she can avoid taking part in or witnessing any of the hillbilly activities that the Plath family engages in. Ethan drives Lydia and Zach away in his car that looks like chitty chitty bang bang, so they can go, well, chitty chitty bang bang at last. However, Lydia teases viewers beforehand that she can't wait for her and Zach to solidify this day with each other on their wedding night. For those of you who aren't very adept at spotting clues, Lydia is discussing doing the with old blue suit. Veronica informs producers she left the wedding because she was chilly, exhausted, and not in the mood to get her hillbilly on when the cameras pick up, 3 towns over, at her hotel the next day. According to Veronica, she contacted Micah before bed, but when she didn't hear back, she looked up his location and discovered that he was in a nearby hospital rather than the Plath family farm. She goes on to say that Micah texted her at around 1 in the morning, telling her that Isaac had attacked him over her and that he was in the hospital receiving stitches. Veronica claims that she is 3 towns over and is baffled as to how she could have created such a ruckus. An hour later, Veronica calls Kim on the phone and confirms that Micah's face was seriously battered by the incident the night before. Veronica then books it to the site of the actual crime. Before we eventually witness the aftermath of the brother brawl, Veronica checks on Micah after arriving to the Plath residence. Micah is sleeping on an arbitrary cot, which Veronica deems tasteless and classless. After Lydia's wedding, Micah and Isaac got into a fight because he informed Isaac that he had to respect Veronica, as seen by his smashed mug. Micah claims that at first he believed he and Isaac were merely playing fights, but things soon got out of hand. Then he pulls out his phone and makes one of the producers look at a picture of his twisted nose, even though the producers told him they would like not to view his recently battered face before it has been sutured at the hospital. Do you want to see Micah's horrific wound? You do, of course. Although he acknowledges that Micah's wounds were much more severe, Isaac asserts that both he and Micah were severely beaten the night before. Micah seems to have changed his mind about Veronica after his younger brother essentially turned his nose into hamburger meat. He tells viewers that he is aware that his girlfriend has treated almost every member of his family disrespectfully. Kim determines that a family conversation is highly needed as a result of Veronica's chaos. Kim informs viewers that Veronica thinks the purpose of this family gathering is to talk about the physical altercation her sons had the night before, but in typical Kim fashion, she intends to ignore that fact completely because, well, boys will be boys, and instead concentrate on the poison that Veronica has introduced into their family, which is what led to the Plath brother punch-a-thon. Isaac and Micah finally meet in person before the family get-together begins. They exchange uncomfortable glances, and Isaac confesses, at least to the audience, that he feels bad about ruining his model brother's business. People in the home, including Ethan and his girlfriend Tegan, reportedly avoid talking to Veronica as she happily takes pictures of her busted lover and the bleeding clothes using one of Lydia's disposable wedding cameras. Ethan informs viewers that he is purposefully avoiding addressing Veronica because she accused Tegan of doing P0RN the night before and reaffirmed her accusation when questioned about it. Shortly after, Kim gathers Ethan, Tegan, Isaac, Kaylin, Micah, and Veronica in the living room and instructs them to discuss the situation calmly while acting like 7 adults. Isaac begins the conversation by apologizing to Micah, which Veronica finds inappropriate because she believes that Isaac's actions could have killed Micah. Kim interrupts Micah as he laughs off Veronica's remark, telling the group that it's more crucial to concentrate on the reasons behind Micah and Isaac's altercation than the actual event. Ethan concurs with his mother, telling Veronica that Isaac's feelings about mangling Micah are already enough. Ethan claims that although the physical altercation began with Isaac body slamming Micah, something or someone else stoked it. Kim then encourages the group to discuss what has been pent up inside. Ethan calls out Veronica directly after teasing her about what that something might be for almost 2 seconds. Veronica tells viewers, "It's so up their alley, but I can't believe they're blaming me. Like, I simply didn't believe it would go this far, but it did. They must deflect. This family needs to properly handle their emotions and is very good at diverting them, but they don't. They attack people and place the blame on others." Veronica tells the group that she wasn't the reason for the fight because she didn't control the arms of Micah and Isaac. Isaac concurs, but claims that by calling their girlfriends derogatory names, Veronica poked and prodded at him and Ethan. Ethan goes on to say that Isaac lost respect for Micah as a result of Veronica's behavior, which he believes led to the MMA fight that broke out after the wedding. Kim then interrupts to tell that she has heard Veronica accuse Tegan of being on OnlyFans, or as Veronica called it, doing P0RN. Because Tegan had previously lied to the family about having a kid, Veronica maintains her claim and claims that Tegan has a history of lying. However, Veronica disputes that she called Tegan a slut. When pressed about the OnlyFans allegations, Veronica admits that she only saw articles referring to Tegan's purported OnlyFans page. Tegan and the other members of the group demand that Veronica show the purported evidence of its existence. Later, Ethan informs viewers that these assertions were discovered in spam articles. Kim continues questioning Veronica by confronting her about remarks she made about her behind her back, such as that Kim used Veronica. Additionally, Kim says that she and Veronica used to communicate frequently before Veronica stopped answering her calls and texts. Kim proudly declares that she keeps receipts, as she displays her phone to the group, revealing that she is being honest about being ghosted by her son's girlfriend. Kim informs viewers that she is beginning to notice similarities between Veronica and Ethan's ex-wife Olivia after reading off a string of unanswered texts to Veronica. Micah lashes out at Veronica for calling Kim a snake, just as he should. Kim, who is clearly irritated, contends that Veronica is not a snake for attempting to accommodate her before Lydia's wedding, and that anyone who would accuse her of doing so has earned a place on her list, probably directly beneath Olivia. While Kim and Ethan keep berating Veronica, the attention eventually shifts to Micah, with Kim clearly accusing her son of failing to defend his family in the face of Veronica's constant Plath slurs. Although he also discloses that the two have been attending therapy, Micah tells his mother that he hoped to settle the differences with Veronica in private. Micah apologizes to his family for not defending them in front of Veronica, admitting that his connection with her is worse than the condition of his nose. Then, reminding Ethan that he has also said terrible things about Kim, Veronica makes one more effort to end this argument on a positive note. Ethan maintains that his relationship with Olivia at the time was the only reason he did that. The group is then informed by Micah, who is folding like a lawn chair in front of us, that Veronica has made friends with Olivia and is siding with her on all matters anti-Plath. But the mid-season trailer for Plathville shows Micah in need of stitches after Ethan refers to Veronica as a little demon. In the Welcome to Plathville Season 7 mid-season teaser, Micah remarks of Veronica, "I either cut ties with her or I strictly choose her over my family." The mid-season trailer for Welcome to Plathville shows everything building to a climax. The complex relationship between Veronica and the Plath family is highlighted in the Season 7 mid-season teaser for the popular TLC series. Micah and Veronica are fighting to maintain their relationship while accusations are still being made, while Lydia and Zach are getting ready for their future together. In couples therapy, Veronica says, "I don't think it's normal to look up your brother's girlfriend's naked photos. He'll end up in bed with her." She then tells Micah, "You're not seeing her ever again. Ever." But Ethan Plath finally confronts his ex-lover Olivia in the trailer for Welcome to Plathville Season 7. Relationship drama will be at the heart of Welcome to Plathville Season 7, as several cast members deal with either new partners or the fallout from divorces. The stunning but inevitable split of Ethan and Olivia will lead the Welcome to Plathville stars to deal with the aftermath and try to pick up the pieces in order to move forward. Kim and Barry are dealing with their own divorce, and Lydia is moving quickly with her boyfriend Zach. The release of the 7th season of the show teases a confrontation between ex-partners Ethan Plath and Olivia Plath. In the latest trailer for the 7th season of Welcome to Plathville, Ethan makes serious fun of Olivia. Ethan makes a lot of fun of Olivia in the just-released TLC trailer for Welcome to Plathville Season 7, saying, "I found the one the second time around out of the blue." The lack of drama is astounding. Later in the trailer, after Olivia talks to Micah's girlfriend Veronica about the drama that comes with being a part of the Plath family, Ethan meets up with Olivia and begs her to please stop. Olivia's response is succinct and direct. "No. In no situation would I ever want any of that back," he says. Micah, meantime, is having problems in his own relationship because he knows he doesn't want to follow Ethan's path. He took Olivia's side, didn't talk to my mom or dad. He acknowledges, "I don't want anything close to that." Veronica says she's unsure if she wants to be a member of Micah's family, adding, "I know this will go bad. Take note of what I say." Veronica thinks the family is out to get her, the same way Olivia said, which is a brilliant insight made by Ethan. Ethan then ominously asserts that there is a price you pay for belonging to the Plath family. But the peaceful farmhouse of the Plath family was painted in golden tones as the late summer sun sank low over Cairo, Georgia. When Lydia Plath entered the backyard with Zach, her longtime friend who turned out to be her surprise love interest, the Plathville cameras were rolling as usual. Nobody, not even Lydia's siblings, suspected that Zach would pop the question tonight. Lydia had been managing her relationship in secret for months. Lydia had been the quiet one as Mariah struggled with heartbreak, Micah pursued modeling dreams, and Ethan and Olivia had gone through their storms. Zach, however, had been her anchor behind the scenes. He wasn't ostentatious. He had no intention of running away or rebelling. He just listened to her, helped her, and loved her in a way she had never known completely. Zach fell to one knee that night beneath the string lights that Ethan had assisted in setting up earlier. Lydia's hand shot to her mouth as she gasped. "Lydia, you have been my confidant, my best friend, and the reason I have faith and love. Are you going to wed me?" The instant froze. Lydia's heart pounded, and her face flushed. This marked her transition into maturity, independence, and love after years of living in silence under her family's stringent regulations. With tears running down her face, she muttered, "Yes, Zach. Indeed." Her siblings clapped and cheered as they surged forward. Even Ethan gave Zach a sincere embrace, despite his initial skepticism about Lydia dating. Micah made jokes about bachelor parties, while Mariah, who was obviously touched by her sister's happiness, struggled not to cry. However, not everybody was having a party. The engagement pictures were posted online by Veronica, a close friend of the Plath family who had become involved in their conflict due to her relationship with Mariah, who lived miles away in Tampa. It unnerved her in some way. Perhaps it was jealousy, protective instincts, or the recollection of her own ugly heartbreaks. In any case, Veronica grabbed her phone. She also didn't give Lydia a call. She gave Olivia a call. Olivia was editing pictures in her apartment in Atlanta when her phone buzzed. She sighed when she saw Veronica's name appear. A combination of camaraderie, competitiveness, and mutual care for the Plath siblings has always characterized their relationship. Still, she picked up. "Veronica? What's happening? Did you notice it, Olivia? Have you seen the post about Lydia and Zach's engagement?" Veronica's voice was abrasive, bordering on hysteria. Olivia reclined in her seat. "I did."
"Why?"
"She appears content." "That's exactly it," Veronica responded, raising her voice. "Too joyful. Too quickly. Lydia is sheltered and young. She has no idea what she's getting herself into." "What about Zach? Although he appears like a good guy, do we actually know him? What if this is just another instance of Ethan?" Veronica was unaware of the depth of the word's impact. Olivia's jaw tightened, and she fell silent. She had endured the emotional distance, the struggles against her family's expectations, and the storm of her marriage to Ethan. She was the only one who truly understood what it meant to enter into a commitment before being prepared. At last, Olivia remarked, "Veronica, it's not our place to get involved. Lydia is now an adult. She has a choice. However, what if she's committing an error?" Veronica persisted. "Do you not recall what transpired with you? With Ethan? Despite seeing the signs, you choose to disregard them. Simply said, I don't want Lydia to experience the same heartache." Olivia let out a deep breath, caught between rage and comprehension. Although she didn't enjoy being reminded of her difficulties, she understood that Veronica's worries were motivated by compassion. "This is it," Olivia stated firmly. "Yes, I was wrong. Yes, I jumped right in. But I'm not Lydia. Zach is not Ethan either. Perhaps things will be different this time. Perhaps it's just what she needs." There was silence in the queue. Veronica didn't immediately respond with an argument, which was unusual for her. She was considering what Olivia had said. "I just hope you're right," she whispered at the end. "Because she is the one who will be devastated if you are mistaken." Olivia drove down to meet Lydia later that week. The touching reunion was captured on camera. Glistening with anticipation, Lydia showed her ring to Olivia. Lydia said, "I know people think it's fast, but Zach gives me a sense of security. I am respected by him. He doesn't criticize or push me. He simply adores me." Olivia took a close look at her younger sister-in-law. When Olivia got engaged, she had never seen such tranquility in Lydia's eyes. She gave herself permission to think that this engagement might actually be different for the first time. Lydia and Zach were seated next to each other, making plans for the future as the episode came to a close. However, the filmmakers hinted that Veronica wasn't finished yet. She still wanted to ask Zach some questions. And if the world had learned anything from the Plaths, It was that there was always some drama involved in a love tale. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Mina, and I hope you're having a great day. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the video.